listening to The Foundation of Wellness, a refreshing take on diet and lifestyle. Join me, Marisa Moon, as we tackle modern health with innovative and ancient principles. I'm a certified primal health coach and intermittent fasting instructor at marisamoon.com. Well, hey everyone, it's me, Marisa Moon. Now, maybe you've been wondering where my co-host is. You've probably missed Jessica, but not as much as I do. Well, Jessica wanted to record a little message for you, and here it is.
Hi, you guys. This is Jessica speaking. You may have noticed Marisa has been hosting the show solo for the past few episodes, and maybe you're wondering, where has Jess been? Well, I'm here to tell you I've taken a step back for a while, and I'm focusing on other endeavors. I'm hopeful to be back soon, but I trust Marisa will continue to share innovative ways to be well in the modern age.
I hope one day Jessica is back with me. We'll just see where things go. But for now, you are in my tribe. I'm so grateful to have you. And this podcast has always been my baby and my creation. And I'm just very grateful for this opportunity to coach you in this way and to connect you with other experts in the field. And hopefully you love the Foundation of Wellness, because I'm not stopping. And I'm actually eager to connect with you some more. You, as my listener, I thought it would be a great way for us to connect if I started a Facebook group that's inspired by the premise of this show. That's why I decided to change my Facebook group name over to the Foundation of Wellness. That's right. So my podcast group is now called The Foundation of Wellness, a refreshing diet and lifestyle chat. And I want you in there. This group is going to be a great place for us to talk about upcoming show topics and industry myths and trends regarding health and wellness. And I encourage you to post any health questions or challenges you're facing so that we can all be in this together. I hope to hear from you about what you think of the most recent episode you listened to. And this group's going to help me get real-time feedback from you, and I can keep you up to date with even more wellness advice than I'm able to do in this weekly recording. So what do you think? Go ahead and type The Foundation of Wellness in your Facebook search box and select groups to filter and find us. Or you can just go to facebook.com/groups/FOW podcast. And that's how you'll find us directly. I'm going to put that link in the show notes at the top and the bottom of the notes. And if you haven't been able to find our show notes, you're new to podcasts, it's really viewable on any podcast player in the episode description. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, you just swipe up while you're listening to the episode and you can scroll to find all of the show notes. Our show notes are always available at our homepage on any device at tinyurl.com/FOW home. All right. Are you ready to hear my top 9 ways to have more energy every day? I'm throwing in a few bonuses too, because there are a lot of ways to tap into more energy inside your body, and it doesn't include caffeinating yourself. Well, I made an infographic for this very topic on my Instagram account at Marisa_Moon_, and the response was really awesome. I knew it was time to shape that post into a podcast, and that's why we're here right now doing it. So I'm going to raffle off the 9 ways to have more energy, and then I'll get a little more descriptive for each one. I'm going to try and go through them fast, but I also want to be descriptive enough so that if one of them sounds like something you need to try, then you'll have enough information to move forward. Now, some of these you've heard before, and some of them will annoy you because you know I'm probably right and you wish I wasn't. And then some of them will hopefully be totally new to you. And a lot of them come from personal experience because I have struggled with chronic fatigue syndrome and it was just god-awful. So let's do this thing. Number 1 is to eat adequate protein. Number 2 is to adopt a strict sleep routine. Number 3, eat your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. Number 4, practice daily intermittent fasting. Number 5, avoid alcohol at least 2 hours before bed. Number 6, avoid caffeine after 1 p.m. or around 10 to 12 hours before bed. Number 7, remove foods that are causing an intolerance in your body. Number 8, eat a lunch made of slow-cooked foods. Number 9, get support for your chronic stress or anxiety. All right, let's do this. So number 1 is to eat adequate protein. If you're active or you're trying to lose weight, you're over 60 years old, you're dealing with chronic pain, healing from injury, or you're stressed out, you probably need more protein, at least 0.5 grams per pound of your body weight. And most people will feel the difference right away if they needed that extra protein. When you're stressed out all the time, the tissues in your body are literally starting to break down. And this tissue breakdown is caused by collagen proteins being used up faster than they're replaced. And something similar happens with the elderly or chronically ill. Protein helps prevent that breakdown of your tissues and free up energy to be used elsewhere. So I'd like to add here that children and adults with attention or learning disorders will also usually benefit from extra protein, especially earlier in the day. So if I wasn't doing intermittent fasting, I'm an adult living with ADHD, I would be making sure that my breakfast or my earliest meal of the day is rich in protein. That's really great for the brain power that I can sometimes be lacking. But intermittent fasting, which we'll get to later, is really my go-to. Now, ideally, your protein sources would be from animals and not just muscle meats, okay? Not just chicken breast and lean cuts of meat, because you need a proper balance of amino acids. And you won't get that when you're eating chicken breast or lean meats all day long. And plant-based proteins are not recommended because it's the proteins in plants that cause most immune system reactions and intolerances, like gluten. Does that ring a bell? Yeah, that's a plant protein. And it's just a little bit too risky to have plant-based proteins as your protein source. Now, the only one that I really like is spirulina. It's not generally considered a protein source, but it's a complete protein, and it's made from blue-green algae. We discussed a lot about algae and spirulina and chlorella in episode 51. So that's a plant-based option that you can take conveniently as tablets, so like a supplement. Now, desiccated liver capsules are my preferred way to supplement a bit more protein, and then you can get a ton more minerals into your diet that you're probably already missing. So to learn more about groups that benefit from extra protein, then just visit the link in the show notes under resources. It's an article on chriskresser.com called 5 Reasons You May Need More Protein. And I just want to share my personal experience with this because honestly, just like you, I've toyed in and out of the idea of eating, an animal-rich diet or eating a plant-rich diet over many, many years now. And I thought I didn't need a lot of protein, especially if I wasn't working out a lot or trying to build up a lot of muscle. I just thought, if I wasn't craving it or hungry for it, then it must mean that I don't need it. Well, I had evening fatigue, like right after work. It was just like, forget it. I can't do anything but lay on the couch. I can't even cook dinner. I'm just brain dead and I'm exhausted. And that was happening to me regularly not too long ago. And I realized, well, gosh, I'm only having one meal a day with animal proteins in it. And it's not even adding up to more than 50 grams of protein a day. And so immediately, by just adding collagen to my morning coffee, which means I'm not technically fasting anymore, but I didn't care at this point. I wanted to see what would happen. So I started adding collagen to my morning coffee, and I was taking, the desiccated liver capsules that I mentioned, and I was having protein for snacks and at every meal, and it was immediate. Like, I had immediately more energy as soon as I started upping my protein. So now I'm a lot more aware of that. And I actually use beef sticks and Epic bars to snack on and protein powders to, if I'm not going to eat, that's my go-to because I know I probably need more protein. So just to let you guys know, I think it is something worth exploring. Now, number 2 is to adopt a strict sleep routine. Your body needs deep sleep. And a sleep-wake time that's consistent and a routine is exactly how you can achieve better deep sleep. Now, small shifts in the way that we honor our sleep schedule actually makes a huge difference in our energy levels and the quality of our sleep. And if we aim to go with the rise and the fall of the sun, for instance, that can make an even greater impact on our quality of life. Your best sleep schedule is going to come from staying on course with your natural circadian rhythm. That's why I talked about the rise and fall of the sun there, because your circadian rhythm is your body's natural connection or your internal clock that coincides with the rising and falling of the sun. It's a 24-hour cycle that your body just naturally aims for, regardless of your schedule. So why not give your body what it needs to work optimally? So under ideal conditions, what does it look like? Well, you're retiring for the evening at a similar time, day after day, and by morning, you're on cue with the rising of the sun. You wake up naturally refreshed and rejuvenated. If you've ever been camping, for instance, you would know that all it takes is a little darkness and some firelight to make you go to bed hours and hours earlier than you would at home. And all you need in the morning is the rising of the sun to get you going right after dawn. So it's easy to go with the circadian rhythm your body's set at, but so many of us have strange work schedules and family demands and late nights when we're trying to play catch up or we're trying to relax while we watch our favorite TV shows. So the only way that you'll minimize the suffering caused from a lack of sleep and in turn maximize your daily energy is to get any sort of sleep-wake routine and rhythm going on. So what I mean is to create a regular sleep and wake schedule as best as your schedule is going to allow. Your body is looking for these cues from you, and a set bedtime is one of the best cues you can give it. Now, a set wake time is even more important. So you don't want to catch up on sleep by sleeping in. You want to go to bed earlier to try and get more sleep. You want to keep your wake-up time consistent. Lots of hormones are cued in your body thanks to your sleep routine or your circadian rhythm. And these hormones are what make you feel wakeful or exhausted. And they expect you to wake up at the same time every day. So a 30 to 45 minute grace period is acceptable if you want to sleep a tad later on the weekends, for example, but don't do more than that. And you'll be amazed how much better your mornings are when you establish a sleep and wake schedule. If you need more sleep, just go to bed earlier, like I said, and don't sleep in. Now, there are plenty of tips on our podcast episodes, number 17 and 18, all about sleep. You should definitely check those out. And some of the most surprising things that affected my sleep personally were eating too close to bedtime, which is something we're going to talk about next, and leaving my phone next to my bed. Well, and looking at my phone while I'm in bed. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started there. But I now turn my phone on airplane mode while I'm sleeping, and my sleep tracker shows me that it makes a significant difference in my ability to go into the deep stages of sleep. Holy cow, did that help with my chronic fatigue or what? Without deep sleep, you're just going to feel exhausted all the time. And I thought that stuff about electromagnetic fields, EMFs for short, and Wi-Fi's messing with our health was an exaggeration. But from my personal experience and continued research, I now realize that that's a very real and scary thing. Some of us are more sensitive than others, and even when your Wi-Fi is not on and your phone's next to your bed, they're still sending signals, sending and receiving, and it can mess with your heart rhythm and your ability to go into deep sleep. So try it, especially if you have a sleep tracker. Check out episodes 17 and 18 of our podcast. Lots of info to help you there. Now, number 3 is to eat your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. Digestion will make you toss and turn at night, especially if you're like me and you tend to have more low stomach acid content. Or if you have poor digestive health, if you have any gut issues, it's very likely that you're going to be digesting that food a lot longer than someone who had really supreme digestive health. So give it 3 hours before bed. And try taking hydrochloric acid, HCl, with pepsin as a supplement. And if you're like me and your dinner would make you stay up or toss and turn, or if you feel like meat or a large meal takes forever to digest, you'd probably want to try HCl as a supplement. I feel like I have pretty good digestion these days. It's been years since I healed my leaky gut and I'm doing really well, but I do have a lot of the signs of low stomach acid, and that's just, how my biology is. So I finally tried it out. I thought it was weird to supplement with hydrochloric acid. I thought that sounded kind of crazy, but I finally tried it out, and just 1 or 2 HCl capsules is all I need to feel optimal. And it's something you might want to try too. Now, I think there is a concern for ulcers, especially if you have a history of ulcers, so consult with a practitioner or your doctor to decide if that's right for you. Number 4 is to practice daily intermittent fasts to have more energy. Intermittent fasting during your work hours helps energy skyrocket because you're not burdened with digestion. Not to mention, you'll have more blood flow to the brain while you're not busy eating and digesting. And now you not only free up energy by avoiding digestion, but you have more energy because your cells and your cell powerhouses known as mitochondria are optimized while you're fasting. They're getting rid of junky cells and making energy more efficiently. So if you want to learn more about starting an intermittent fasting routine, you can always grab a free guide that I created over at marisamoon.com/IFfreedom. The IF stands for intermittent fasting. And the guide comes with days and days of intermittent fasting tips from me sent to your inbox. I'm really excited about sharing it with you. It's something new actually since just last week or so. Yeah, it's my new manual and I hope you love it. Again, that's marisamoon.com/IFfreedom. That is one of my biggest energy boosts every day is intermittent fasting. Now, number 5, for more energy, you want to avoid alcohol at least 2 hours before bed because it's going to interrupt your sleep. And sleep is really what most of us need and why we're so tired all the time. Now, alcohol might help you fall asleep. I get it. You want a glass of wine, it helps you relax. Trust me, I get it. But it makes you wake up in the middle of the night and prevents deep sleep if your body has not metabolized that alcohol yet. Since alcohol is a toxin, that's literally poisonous. So your liver has to hurry up and metabolize that alcohol ASAP. This means your body isn't fully resting while you're trying to sleep. So I don't really need to get into this one, but if you're overstressed and you're underslept and you turn to a few nightly glasses of wine to soothe your stress, just be careful. It's a slippery slope to burnout or chronic fatigue, even panic attacks, chronic anxiety, or getting sick all of a sudden, like sick where you're down for the count for a couple of weeks. And you can't afford that, right? So keep that alcohol consumption at least 2 hours before bed so that your liver has time to process the alcohol before you go to sleep. I'd rather you miss sleep by going to sleep a little bit later and waiting for that alcohol to burn off than to go to sleep when it's still in your system. Now, number 6 is to avoid caffeine after 1 p.m. or around 10 to 12 hours before your bedtime. Now, I know you think you can drink caffeine any time of the day and still sleep, but it's building up in your system and disrupting your deep sleep. Caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours. So that means if you had a grande coffee, you're looking at 300 milligrams of caffeine in your system. 6 hours from them, you still have 150 milligrams of caffeine. And then 6 hours from then, you still have 75 milligrams of caffeine in your system. So that's just 18 hours and you still have 75 milligrams of caffeine in your system, even if you're a fast caffeine metabolizer. Now, someone like me, I just found out I'm a slow caffeine metabolizer. I don't think I'm the slowest, but I'm slow. And genetic testing can help you learn about your caffeine metabolism. Trust me, I thought I was one of those people that could just drink coffee at 8 o'clock and then go to sleep at 11, no problem, because I don't get like jittery and I don't really feel it. I just love coffee. Well, I was wrong. And I'll provide some links in the show notes so you can find out how to determine your caffeine metabolism. But basically, you need to find out which copies of a certain gene you carry. It's called the CYP1A2 gene. And if you did the 23andMe Health and Ancestry panel, not just the Ancestry one, you got to do the health one, you can look into your raw data for this gene. It's not something that your report from 23andMe is going to tell you. You can just Google how to do it or post a question in my new Facebook group, The Foundation of Wellness. And we have tons of advice, including this, on our episode number 26, all about caffeine and coffee. So I strongly recommend that you find out how you metabolize caffeine because you would be so surprised how much it can be destroying your quality sleep and making you feel so exhausted all the time. I mean, it's not a joking matter. I love coffee so much, and I didn't want it to be true, but it's my truth. And honestly, the episode number 26 of the podcast is awesome, so go check it out. On number 7, removing foods that are causing an intolerance in your body can make you feel so much more energy. I mean, eating foods that your body isn't tolerating can keep you up at night because inflammation, and your immune system is all fired up. So if you try an elimination diet, like the Whole30, for instance, you can explore which foods are causing a reaction. Or you can at least just try getting rid of the top allergens like gluten, dairy, eggs, grains, especially corn and wheat, soy, and all sorts of nuts. If you try removing those all at one time, then it's easy to just reintroduce them one at a time and find out which one was causing your symptoms. Now you can try removing them one at a time, but you're going to save yourself a lot of time in the long run if you just do them all at once. Like the Whole30 or the autoimmune protocol is even more in depth, and we covered the AIP diet, the autoimmune protocol, on episode number 54. So there's tons of information for you on various elimination diets in episodes number 10 and number 11, and we covered dairy intolerances in episode number 30. There's tons to learn there, but I am telling you, if your body is reacting to something, if you have acne, if you have skin conditions, if you get migraines, if you get moody, brain fog, you have any sort of gut issues, digestive issues, stomach pains, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, anything like that is a sign that you have a food intolerance that you have not yet identified. So it's worth exploring so you can have a lot more energy, because otherwise you're burdening your immune system with that and it's making you feel more tired. Number 8, the way to have more energy every day is to eat a lunch that's made of slow cooked foods. Slow cooked meats and stews and soups and cooked vegetables are much easier on your digestive tract than anything that's cooked with high heat or eaten raw. These slow cooked foods won't slow you down, so they're great for lunch when you still need your energy to be high because you have a long day ahead of you. Now, when we're slow cooking something, or even when you pressure cook it, you're really like breaking down all of the fibers to make it just so much easier for your stomach and your GI tract to process. So those nutrients will be more easily absorbed and your body doesn't have to work so hard. So that means there's an energy surplus and you're going to have more energy. You probably notice that if you eat some soups or stews, you'll probably notice it doesn't weigh you down as much than if you ate, grilled chicken breast and a salad. Interestingly enough, those foods will be very comforting and make us feel, a little, warm and cozy, but it's not going to make us feel like we have no energy and we need to go take a nap. Now, a high carb diet is going to make you want to take a nap. So don't eat risotto for lunch. Don't eat, a huge stuffed burrito from Chipotle with this flour tortilla and rice and beans inside. You're looking at like 100 grams of carbs in one meal? Yeah, you're going to need a nap after that one. So keep these things in mind. Other options besides slow-cooked foods and stewed meats and soups and cooked vegetables is, like I said, the pressure cooker, but also you could consider smoothies and things that are blended. Those also are easier to digest. Just watch how much raw foods and quick cooked meats that you are eating, and you'll notice it frees up a little bit more energy when you got a lot more work to do. Now, number 9 is to get some support for the chronic stress you're dealing with or your anxiety. Tackle these chronic stressors or chronic anxiety by asking for support. If you can eliminate stressors and calm your anxiety, you're going to have so much more energy. The effects of chronic stress and anxiety can contribute to something that science calls your allostatic load. Your allostatic load refers to the long-term effects of continued exposure of chronic stress on your body. Your body has to maintain homeostasis or balance by controlling stressors so that the body can function efficiently. And the body's response to stressors is designed to turn off after the stressor is gone. But chronic stressors create a situation where the body's stress response is constantly invoked. And this is the allostatic load. And long-term exposure to the allostatic load can lead to disease and bodily breakdown. So in the meantime, it's sucking the energy right out of you. You want more energy? Get some support and help to manage your stress and your anxiety. Hire a life coach or a health coach, a business coach, or a therapist who can help you. A relationship coach. There's coaches for everything now. What is the biggest source of your stress or your anxiety? Do you need a financial coach? Someone to help guide you during this time can really relieve a lot of the pressure that you're feeling, or a lot of the worries that you have, or help you see patterns in your just the way that your mind works and makes you feel that way. It can really change your life when you find the right person to guide you. So some bonus ones I wanted to add are B vitamins, the B-complex and B12 vitamins, especially when they are like methylcobalamin is the natural B12 form. It's just more easily absorbed. So that is important. I mean, you want the ones that are most easily absorbed, because some of us can't even get them from foods. I mean, some of us have just problems making folate in the body, and it's something we're supposed to be able to do, but genetically, some of us have trouble with that. That's why certain people take a B12 or a B-complex and they just feel like immediate energy. I wish that was me. That's not me, but I still take B-complex because some of my levels can tend to be on the low side, but I don't feel a boost of energy. I just know a lot of other people that do. So it's definitely worth trying, and it's not an expensive supplement. Now, there is a supplement that can help you with energy in a big way, but it is expensive. And this is something called hydrogen tablets or hydrogen water. They are molecular hydrogen gas encapsulated inside a magnesium tablet. I know you're probably like, what the heck did she even just say? Well, on episode number 46, we covered a lot about hydrogen. I'm not a fan of that company anymore. I've heard a lot about that company running scams with their big like hydrogen water study, but they still make tablets and they have a lot of good prices. So I'll buy it from them every now and then because the price is unbeatable. But you can go to a very reputable company that sources them from the same manufacturer, and that's drinkhrw.com, and look for their Rejuvenation H2 magnesium tablets. Now, why am I even talking about hydrogen water? Well, hydrogen water is booming because the science is booming about molecular hydrogen. With over 1,000 publications and 40 clinical trials on molecular hydrogen, it's one of the most exciting research topics pertaining to health and wellness and performance and longevity. Molecular hydrogen is this selective antioxidant, meaning it doesn't interfere with the necessary inflammation in our body or necessary free radicals. It just interferes with anything that's wreaking havoc in your body. So it helps when you have chronic inflammation, and if you have something going on that you don't even know about, like causing your chronic fatigue. And we used to actually produce a lot more hydrogen gas naturally in our guts when we ate a more fiber-rich diet from certain plant foods, but now we eat less of those foods and we're exposed to so many more toxins and stressors, so aging is advancing so rapidly inside our cells, and there's not a whole lot to combat it. Hydrogen, molecular hydrogen, is pretty amazing at that, and the H2 tablets, these hydrogen tablets, are an easy way for us to take it at home and without needing the actual hydrogen gas. So I know you're probably like, what in the heck is she even talking about? So episode number 46 if you want to learn more about that, but you can get some. If you live in Chicago, you can go to High Vibe and actually buy the hydrogen tablets there, or you can go to drinkhrw.com to get yours. I feel the difference right away. I love hydrogen tablets, even though they're expensive. My husband and I, we both agree they're a necessary secret weapon for anyone striving for optimal health, or if you're desperate for a health intervention or you want them to help advance your physical performance, mental performance. I'm really a huge fan, and they help me just kind of like wake up. When I take them, it's just like my vision gets clearer and I feel like a little tiny reset going on. You can take them at night to help you sleep better, actually, and you can also take them during the day to help you feel more energized. It's amazing. Now, the last bonus for more energy that I want to bring up is something you've probably never heard of, and that is ketone esters. Ketone esters supplement your body with instant ketones, which helps people with an impressive lineup of daily struggles, like a lack of physical energy or stamina or mental concentration. So ketones are the fatty acids our body uses for energy. Instead of relying on carbohydrates, known as glucose for energy, your body starts using fat and makes ketones from your own body fat, but we don't always have that available. That's just a whole nother topic I'm not going to get into, but you can take ketones as a supplement, and that's what ketone esters are. So if you take them in the right amounts, ketone esters can help improve your deep sleep in a pretty dramatic way. And it's just one of those things you have to try yourself and get the amount just right. Like we're talking about by the milliliter if you want it to try and help you sleep. Now, if you try it for an energy boost or pre-workout, there's not as much as you need to figure out or get exact. So just try it and see what you think. It's disgusting. It tastes like cough syrup, but like even more bitter than that. But if you just start looking it up online or on Facebook, it has a very dedicated following because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like the boost that you get from it. And some people, it really makes their sleep tremendously better and deeper and more rejuvenating. And I hope to achieve that sometime. It kept me wide awake. It gave me too much energy, but I did use it for work a couple of times, and it really, really does work. Also expensive, though. So just throwing it out there so that you know they exist. So did I leave anything out? I could have written a whole book on this because there are so many little nuances and experiences I'd like to share. And I personally have gone through lots of things that would make me need more energy desperately or just curious about how I can get more energy. And that's why I knew this might be important for you too. So join the conversation with me on Facebook. And remember, I am a one-on-one health coach. Not only do I do the online intermittent fasting coaching, but I work with people one-on-one all the time. I can be your health coach if you go to marisamoon.com/consultation and we can set up a free 30-minute call. All right? Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to share our podcast if you love it because we got to get the word out. Thank you. Bye.